and welcome back to my channel. So on this video, I'm going to do a review of the fairly new foundation from Givenchy. This is the Givenchy Prisme Libre Skin Caring Matte Foundation. So lately I've been reviewing foundations that are more on the radiant side. This 2022, it seems like that has been the trend. It's mostly radiant skin, radiant foundation, but it's also nice to have a matte foundation, especially for me because I have oily combination skin and I'm always in a hunt for something more mattifying, especially during the summer times. So we'll see if this foundation would be a good match for my oily combination skin. On Sephora's website, this foundation is described as a skincare infused long-lasting matte foundation that is lightweight and natural while blurring and addressing imperfections for up to 24 hours. It has a medium coverage, it has a matte finish, and it claims to reduce the appearance of pores while addressing imperfections. It's also mattifying and hydrating, and it also provides a buildable finish that lasts all day. It also has cappuccine extract that supports skin natural radiance. It has pink clay to help nourish the skin, and a natto extract that encourages clarity and help reduce the appearance of pores. So just a little background with my skin. I have really big pores on the side of my cheeks. I have hyperpigmentation also on the top of my cheeks, and I have oily combination skin. So let's go with the try on. The shade that I got is N270. Just for reference, I'm usually an NC25, NC30 on MAC. So on my right side, I'm going to use a sponge, and then on my left side, I'm going to use a brush. So this is the packaging. It has such a long neck, like the cover is so long. And since we're using a matte foundation, we're also going to try the Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Primer. So I got this as a freebie when I ordered from Sephora online, so we'll use this as our primer. Oh, it smells really good. It smells almost like a perfume, which is, I know for some it's not good because some people are sensitive to scents. So if you are sensitive to scent, this might not be good for you. Here's the thing with mattifying primer, it can peel. Like I can see some peeling there because it dries really matte. Recently, I feel like I put like powder on top of my face. That's how it feels like. It really mattifies my face. Like this is the side without the primer, and this is with the primer. For sure, this will be really mattifying, but we'll see if this will help my oil throughout the day. So I'm going to also put it on my right side and make sure to work very quickly because it can dry easily and it can peel. It feels like I have powder on, but it's so smooth. It's so light. Usually with matte primers, it feels like silicone, but this one comes in like a cream form. So that's new to me. Make sure that I have covered my T-zone with it. And usually the center of my forehead would be the one getting really oily. I'm just gonna shake my foundation really well. It's holding its texture very well. It's not going down on my hand. It's more creamy than liquid. I think one pump is not enough. I did 2 pumps because the first squirt was just so little. It actually smells like the Chanel foundation, to be honest. So let's blend it out. Yes, I think I found my right shade. With the 2 pumps of foundation, I still have a lot left, but I could say that it really gave me a medium coverage. When it comes to my pores, I feel like it also helped in blurring my pores. And I know that it's a matte foundation, but can you see that glow on the side of my cheeks? It's still giving me that glow, and it actually really looks skin-like. And I have big pores on the side of my cheeks, and I have hyperpigmentation on the side of my cheeks, just like this one, and you can see my big pores here. And on this side, you can really see that it helped blurring my pores. It really hid my hyperpigmentation. It's almost not visible. I like that it's not super matte. I think it's more of a soft matte finish. Again, this is the side without the foundation. And the side with the foundation. Okay, now let's go to the other side and let's use a brush. I find that with the brush it looks more sheer. So this is the side with the brush, and with the brush I find that it's more sheer. And for those who are asking, my sponge is still available. Just message me at alldoll.byc@gmail.com so I can send it to you, but I'm still selling them. I think that of all the tools that I'm using for my foundation, this sponge always wins because it just really applies the foundation well. It doesn't eat up as much foundation, so you can have more coverage with using this sponge. So if you're interested, just message me on my Gmail account. So I'm going to put half a pump of the foundation and concentrate it on the center of my face. Add more foundation on where I have really dark hyperpigmentation, and let's see if this can be built. Yeah, I think it can, but with I have a pimple here, so I think that needs to be color corrected before putting on the foundation. This foundation is really performing well on my skin. Like, I thought it's going to look so matte on my face. Kind of reminds me again of the Chanel foundation, but this one has better coverage than the Chanel foundation. And I like the glow that it gives on my face. I would say that this could actually give you medium to almost full coverage. Although on my hyperpigmentation and my pimple, I know that I have to color correct that and conceal to really hide that flaw. But so far, it feels really nice on the face. It feels really smooth. I'm going up close to show you what it looks like on my skin. I think that this foundation is very unique compared to other matte foundations that I have used because this is more skin-like. This doesn't look like I have heavy makeup on. And I like the glow that it's giving me. So I feel like it's more of a soft matte foundation. It's more of a soft matte finish. But we'll see how this performs throughout the day, whether this would really control my oil. I think that my foundation has already set. So we'll test how cream products really blend on top of this foundation. I saw this trend on TikTok where they put their contour really high up. Usually I put my contour here, but they put it here instead to have that lifting effect. So we're going to try that. The cream product really blended super easily on top of this foundation, and the foundation does not move. It really blended out my cream contour so easily, and this usually is hard to blend, but it just blended so quickly. God, I love it. Okay, let's put on my concealer. I usually mix my concealer with the shade close to my skin tone and then a shade a little lighter. So I'm going to add that lighter shade like near my tear duct. It also really blended well on top of this foundation, I have to say. Now let's try the Rare Beauty liquid blush. See if this would also really blend seamlessly and not disturb my foundation. It also really blended seamlessly on top. So I'm gonna set my face with the Laura Mercier powder. Oh, actually the cream actually moved the foundation here. Now I could see my hyperpigmentation. So I'm going to add a little foundation on that. Yeah, I think you have to be careful on spots where you really need that coverage. Like the cream contour, I think you'll get away with it. But on the center of my face, where there's a lot of hyperpigmentation, once I put that blush, that cream blush on, it actually removed the foundation. So I'm going to add more foundation to that, and I'm just going to use my powder blush just so we still have that coverage. So first impression, I really love how it helps in blurring out my pores. It also really gave me a good coverage, medium to almost full. It really helped in hiding my hyperpigmentation. I like how smooth it feels like on the face. It is very smooth, and I like how it's skin-like. Like you get a full coverage foundation without it looking like you have a lot of makeup on. It's also very light on the face, and I like the soft matte finish of this foundation. I can still see a little glow on the side of my cheeks, and overall it's just very comfortable on. Now let's do the photography test and the wearability test, where I tell you how this foundation performs after 4 hours and after 8 hours.
Told you what to chase, told you how to run the race.
Hey y'all, so I'm back and this is the 4th hour. Say that when it comes to coverage, I think that it's a little thinned out compared to when it was freshly applied, but so far it's still giving me that medium coverage. I can see a little shine seeping through, especially on my forehead and a little on the side of my cheeks, but I don't think I look like a greasy mess. I look more glowy. It has that soft glow look to it. There's a little buildup on the side of my nose, but that's actually what happens when I put on foundation. But compared to other foundations, this is actually very minimal. So far, this foundation is still performing really well on the 4th hour. I'll update you on the 8th hour and give you my final thoughts about it. I'm back, so this is the 8th hour. I'm gonna go closer so you can see more close-up of how it looks like. So you can see that I'm actually very oily on the side of my cheeks, on my nose, on my forehead. I didn't expect this with a matte foundation, because even with the Chanel foundation that I've used, which is more of a radiant foundation, I didn't look this oily, but I look really oily now. I don't look like a mess. I feel like if I look at the mirror, I'm oily, but I can still see some coverage. I can still see my blush is on, my contours on. So I was wearing a mask a while ago, so the foundation on my nose kind of wore off. It's not there anymore. And you can also see that the coverage is very thin now. Now let's use my blotting sheet. Let's remove the excess oil and see if there's still foundation on my face. I can see that the center of my face doesn't really have a lot of foundation, and especially on the center of my nose, and I really think it's because it transferred on my mask. So I think I'm ready to give you my final thoughts about this foundation. I'm giving this foundation a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I would agree to its claim that it actually helps in blurring my pores. This foundation did that, and I would agree that it's very light on the face, it feels smooth, it's also very hydrating. But when it comes to it being matte, I was expecting it to be matte. But the finish that it gave me was soft matte, almost radiant really, because it really gave me radiance on the side of my cheeks, which I didn't mind because it really looks natural, and I like foundation that are very skin-like. But to claim that it's a matte foundation, you can really see that on the 4th hour, the oil is seeping through, and you can see the shine on my forehead, on the center of my face, and on the 8th hour, you can really see the shine on my face. So I don't think it's that mattifying. And when it comes to wearability, on the 4th hour, it thinned out a bit. But on the 8th hour, because it's not transfer proof, and when I wore my mask, the foundation really transferred on the mask. So I don't have a lot of foundation on the center of my face, especially in the top of my nose. So I can say that this foundation is able to do a 24-hour wear. Weirdly, I think that I would recommend this to people with normal to dry skin. Not super dry, but normal to dry skin with not a lot of texture. Because also I find that on the 8 hour, it kind of cling on the texture and the side of my face. But to people who are very oily and wanting a really matte foundation, I don't think that this would really help in controlling your oil. And I'm also disappointed with the Tom Ford mattifying primer. I thought that this would help this foundation to be more mattifying, but when I applied this on, it was very satiny on the face. I can see that it mattified my face, but on the 4th hour and the 8th hour, it didn't really mattify my face or help in mattifying my face and controlling my oil. So I was also kind of disappointed with this primer. So I think that this foundation is actually geared towards more of a normal skin than oily skin. So that's it. That's my review on this foundation. Please don't also forget to check out my foundation playlist where I review high-end and drugstore foundations. And if you like this video and you find it helpful, please don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll always be updated once a new video is out. And if you have any more questions that I didn't cover in this review, just comment down below. I'll be happy to answer all of your questions. Thank you so much once again for watching. I'll see you on my next one.